Right, hello there. And after the success of my first foray into Warhammer 40k, the Recruit Edition, excuse me, I've built all the models, based them, I've put textured paint on the bases, they're all primed and I've already started to paint them. Very, very impressed with the models, as I knew I would be, because it's Games Workshop and their models are absolutely first class, and these are no exception. So today I've got another starter set. This is the big one, this is the Command Edition. It doesn't have a huge amount more minis in, but it does have some, but it does have terrain, which is something I was quite keen to get some for the table for when I do eventually play. So let me turn this box over so you can see what's inside. And it is a big, heavy box. Right. If we go up to the top there, for starters, the Necrons, we get a Scopic destroyer with some big green scythe thing, which is apparently a very lethal close-in weapon, something that they've been lacking so far. And next to him is an Overlord to go with the other guy I got. What was the other guy? He was I can't remember. He wasn't an Overlord, but whatever it was. So I've got 2 command figures now. Then next, we've got a Primaris Captain to go alongside the Primaris Lieutenant from the Recruit set. And we've got the Assault Intercessor Sergeant. Well, that's the same model as in the other. But I noticed they've given him a red helmet, and in his chevron on his shoulder there, I noticed it's got a red centre as well. So I'm glad I saw that, because that means I can paint the Sergeant from the other box set in the same colours with the red helmet. So well, that was a bit handy. Right, what else? Obviously you get the command manual. Now these things are worth the weight in gold. It was in the Recruit version. It is an absolute idiot's guide to building the models, and I mean it goes through every individual model. Yet there's 10 Necrons and it goes through them 1 to 10. Which piece you need, do this, stick that to that, do that to the other. Because if you don't, especially with the Necrons, you'll find that they won't go together. You can't just clip them all off the spool and then hope for the best. It doesn't work like that. Some bodies will only fit with certain rib cages, certain heads will only fit with certain rib cages. Just follow the instructions, one by one, and you can't go wrong. It's also got the rules, the full rules for Warhammer 40k. Now, it's not the core hardback edition. This is an A5 smaller softback version, but it does contain all the rules, but it doesn't contain all the fluff that the big core book, the hardback core book, does. But you know, it's a shame, but you know, I can live with that. At least that gives me the full rules. Now let's move down to some of this. What's in the? You get some scenery there, like ruined scenery. It's clipped together, so you get 2 walls there, and the roof, or upper floor, whatever it is. They all clip in. I mean, you could glue them if you want. I'll have to say how well they clip, but they look okay. Obviously, some more Necrons. Another piece of ruined terrain down here in the corner. Come across. Got all this pipework and that big cooling, I don't know what to tell me, the butter chain, I don't know what it is. From the building, you've got all this pipework. And down here, there are these 3 bikes, Outriders they're called. So we've got some fast attack units now for the Space Marines, which is a good job because all they get is another 5 of those assault intercessors. So there's going to be 10 of them now, 8 troopers, 2 sergeants, and now a lieutenant and a captain. So the ranks are increasing, but it seems the Necrons, which, you know, I guess the weaker force, they're getting more. Right, so now this is just really going to be sprues, which is pretty boring. I don't normally like to just show sprues, I'd certainly show, you know, pictures of painted models, but I'll do it with this one. I'll just slide it out. It's another box within a box again, so get the big box out of the way and put this here. Right, so we've got these snaps. Let me pull that out of the way because there's nothing on it. So all you'll see is through. I'll put that down. That's why I got this dark towel. So you could try and be professional, you see. I know I'm not like, but I can pretend. So we've got all these sections of pipe, some curved ones, straight pieces. Now you could glue them together, but I don't think there's any need to, because they'll just, as long as it's on a flat surface, you could just stand them next to each other for a long run of pipe or short runs of pipe. Now here we've got something a bit different. Here, down here we've got something the pipes pass through, isn't it? Some sort of, I don't know, refining plants. There's some sort of control panel there. There's all these pipes coming round here. So whether that's some sort of refinery pipe. The end of this pipe here, it's all melted and damaged, so at some point in the battle, so same as that one there, that is as well. So you could have 2 ends where the pipe was just simply blown to smithereens, and that's just a melted molten metal as it's gone in. So that's the first piece of terrain. That looks not bad at all. Then we've got this one, which is it's obviously got a name. It stands on these things. Obviously, these 2 pieces go together. There's a top to it. Presumably, it slots into there. So there's all these little bits and pieces. Again, another interesting piece of terrain to attach to your pipework. Well, that's the first bits of terrain. Now we're coming on to the sprues, which I'm not really that keen on showing you because there's not much to see. But let's have a look at this bike one. So we get the bikes, and obviously the riders and things that fit in them. There's the captain there and the Necron leader. Most of the sprues, again we get the 10 Necrons, which we've already seen before. I've already done these once. So the Necrons are going to go up to 20 warriors, which apparently you can have a squad of 20. These look like the Scorpec destroyers, because you can see these big sides, these big, I don't know what they are, big, massive things, not to slash you down with. And we've got the Intercessor squad again, which again I've already built this once, so nothing great shakes there. Now, the other bit I want to show is, oh, this is quite heavy as well, is this terrain piece. So these are the parts of the buildings. A separate piece there, corner piece, straight piece, they'll slot onto the corners. You've got a piece of ruined floor there. No, detailed on the inside. Underneath of the ruined floor, well, that's how they've managed to get this pattern, this sunken pattern. Obviously it's press moulded, so the underneath is just that. Well, that's okay. Nobody's going to really see under the building. I'll just paint that black, so that's no problem. But inside is detailed just the same as outside. So yeah, nice. And it's heavy, it's thick, which is good. And the final piece of terrain, again, another building, piece of building there, another smaller piece. The floor again, 2 pieces this time, so but you can see by that they will join together if you want them to. another building here with a door. Again, the press moulding showing on that, but again, painted black or oily steel or something. You're not going to notice that. You're not going to see it. And the insides are detailed as well. Lovely, thick, heavy. I'm really impressed with them. Now, come back in the box back. We've got a piece of card, Warhammer 40,000. Same both sides. Now, we've got all the bases. The big bases, they're going to be for motorbikes, aren't they? They'll be for the motorbikes. I assume if there's 3 of them, I can see 2. I'm sure there's another one in here somewhere. I hope so. Anyway. Yeah, there it is. There's number 3. And then we've got the command manual and the rules book. So let me just get these out. Excuse the whistle. Well, let's move that out of the way again. There's the rules book. A cut down A5 size book. It runs to, I'll tell you in a minute when I come to the end of these photographs. There's 179 pages there, so we're talking about 186 pages with covers and the artwork. Look at that. Pretty damn impressive, isn't it? So, this is the core rules for the full game of Warhammer, not just the cut down versions they gave us in the Recruit edition and what will no doubt will be given us in this Command edition. So the Command edition, again, it'll come in at 81, 82 pages, and it goes through everything, a bit like the other one. In fact, these first few pages are identical. It's the same thing. But of course, it will get slightly different when we get there. The building there's plenty of fluff like, but we've already seen all this. These instructions are great, and it's every one. This is Marine number 2, Marine number 3, Marine number 4. What parts you need? Stick this to this, stick this to that, and you end up with that's what it's going to look like. You follow the instructions, you can't go wrong. With the Marines, it's pretty foolproof anyway. It's pretty self-evident. But these buggers, these Necrons, you've got to be really careful with these. You really do have to marry up the body number B6 with the arms and with the heads and with the rib cages. Because if you get them wrong, they ain't going to fit together. So what I was doing, I was simply cutting out one at a time. I would cut out all them bits, clean them all up, build it as per the instructions. When he was finished, I'd glue him to his base, put him to one side, then I'd move on to number 3, and so on. That way, you're not going to get anything wrong, unless you don't look at the number on the sprue properly. But the numbers on the sprue are really clear, so absolutely no problems at all. There's got some more missions. Presumably we'll get to, we've got to the Primaris Captain, how to build him, Idiot's Guide, what base he needs. Then we go on to the Scopec destroyers with their big blade thing. And again, the first one you use them parts, you glue it, and that's what get it all together, and it'll end up looking like that. Painted example for you to copy. Yeah, you can't go wrong, and it'll do it for them all. So kudos to Games Workshop for doing something like this, explaining every single model, what parts you need. Everything's well numbered on the sprue. You really, if you follow it, you can't go wrong. So Venus Boy, when you're doing your Necrons, just follow them instructions to the letter. We've already got we ain't got a Primaris Captain, so that's new, but we've got the Intercessor Squad, and of course an Outrider Squad. Overload, the Scorpec destroyers. We don't have the Overlord. I can't remember the name of the other guy. Necron Warriors, we've got them, and the Scarabs, yeah, we've got them. So we've seen them before. And the last thing in the bill, in the box, well, there's some dice, is this board. Now this time, instead of it being paper, it's card, thick card. I probably still won't be using it, but I might do for the smaller battles. And it's got this red side on one side, and it's double-sided. Whip it over, and it's that grey side on the other side with all the rubble and ruins and that. So I won't own that, because it'll take me forever to get the bloody plastic off. So that's that. 2 more rulers. And a big sheet of, when I can get them out, go around there. Go around there. Come on, you know you want to. Come together. Yes, a big sheet of stickers for the different models. So we have the Ultramarines, vehicle markings, battlefield row, yeah, great stuff. Blood Angels, Space Wolves, and Dark Angels. Now, characters. I'm looking for one of these with a red in the middle for the sergeant. Don't look like I've got one though. Oh, Armour Sergeant. But that's just a... Oh yeah, there it is. It's there. With a skull in it. I suppose you could use any of them. But there'll be a reason why that one's tiny, that one's medium, and that one's big. Maybe he's a senior sergeant and a corporal or something, I don't know. But I'll work that out when I come to that part. I'm nowhere near that part. But these are good, having these. And it's the old-fashioned, I think, where you just cut it out, soak it in warm water, slide it off with a cotton bud onto where you want to place it, and then, just to be safe, put some Decalfix on it, just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm pleased to have included all that. And I've got a couple more of these handy-dandy plastic rulers, which, if you want them, they're there. That you can't see that, can you? They're okay. They'll do the job. So that's the contents of the second starter set. And the reason I went for this one was, as I say, mainly for the terrain, which I'm very impressed with. I do like the look and feel of that. Also, I've got a few. Well, the Space Marines have got one new unit of them. Motorbikes. I've got a new leader for them. And the Necrons have got some new units as well with that. Them guys with them big blades. And of course we've got some more Necron Warriors, so I'll have a force of 20 of them. So plenty to do with this, plenty of work on it, but I shan't start on this until I finish Tubber. You know, I'll get that finished, painted up, and get a basic game under me belt. And then we'll start adding to it with this box. And because they're both starter sets, then by combining both, there should still be balanced army, shouldn't there? You know, I'm not going out and buying anything fancy, what's too powerful. Presumably these are these have been picked to be reasonably balanced, and so that's the way I'll go. But I will add some of the fancy stuff. I do like some of the Graf tanks and some of the fancy Necron monster things, robot things. So I will add things over time, but I'm going to have to get the core book at some point. My local game store has offered me that and the codexes for both the Marines and the Necrons, and it'll give me 20% off. Well, I think the full price is 96. 2 books at £30 and the core book is 36. So if he's giving me almost 20 quid off, I might take him up on that. Maybe next week, we'll see, when I go back in the shop. But because I need the fluff and I need the codex to see exactly what each of these races has and what they're capable of and all that type of thing, unit stats and that type of thing. So I'll probably do that, probably next week. But for now, this can go back in its box, and I'll carry on working on the ones I've got, the recruit set. But this one, I look forward to doing this one, and we'll get on to it next. So thanks for watching and listening to me rabbit on Great Lake Burn. But they do look great. I do like these Necrons. I like this. I do like that brass look and the where the bare metal is and everything. They really do look quite imposing. And of course the Space Marines do anyway. Oh, he's got a big red stripe down the centre of his helmet. Wonder if there's a transfer for that. But that's a captain or no, it'd be a cap. Yeah, it'd be the captain, won't he? What's coming this? We'll worry about that when we get to it. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Bye for now.